Adrian and Wilma van Leeuwen are pioneers in the dairy industry, with Wilma having been a finalist in the Dairy Women's Network Dairy Woman of the Year in 2015. When they bought their farm in South Canterbury, the land was designated an at-risk zone for water quality. The Van Leeuwens then took the very big step of housing their entire herd. They now operate one of the world's largest dairy barns, covering around 1.3 hectares.
My background comes from Holland, where I was born on the farm and we had barns in Holland. Coming to New Zealand, being in the outdoor scenario for a long time, we eventually got into winter milking. And winter milking is not always the easiest. Weather-wise, the cows having to deal with some nasty days and losing production, and you try to bring that production back up again. So one day we thought, well, we'll build a barn. We winter milk, we get a premium on the milk, so why not building a barn? It certainly cost a stir within New Zealand of what we've done. But I just want to show farmers in New Zealand that the past is not always the future, or the future is not the past. I mean, not standing here saying that the grass-based system needs to disappear tomorrow, not at all. It's a free country, so we can all make our own choices. But we want to show that it can be done differently too, and which would help the environmental side greatly. You can never say it's going to be 100% sustainable, but it reaches very far on the end of the day. If you see that all the effluent that comes out of the barn that we reuse on the farm, and we've gone away from our chemical fertilizers, I call them chemical fertilizers, that's a major step forwards environmentally in my book. All the effluent that we catch in the big tank gets spread over the land evenly. So we're not having those loaded up spots everywhere in the land and high leaching levels on these spots on the end of the day. So it's very efficient use of the effluent that comes out the back of the cow. Here we cut the grass on a continuous basis, so everything is getting harvested, and any leftovers will end up being loaded up and go to the dry cow, so there's absolutely no waste whatsoever going on. Eventually we're looking at a good 800 kilos of milk solids, the 850 milk solids, which is to double to what the average is in New Zealand. And so, once you start calculating that and once you look at the efficiency of the feed, that you use, you put all these figures together, which are your farming costs and so on, and your return, then you find that this stacks up just as well as what happens outdoor.
When we decided to develop this barn, we put a lot of thought into how we would set up the layout, and what we've actually done is we've set up 8 groups, and each group has 3 robots which do all the milking for the cows. So that was really important for us to be able to manage the herd. The stalls each have a latex mattress which is about that thick, and then there's a rubber mat that goes over it to keep the stalls dry. They have brushes for scratching in each of the sections, and water troughs obviously as well, so everything's there for them. The building is a couple of metres taller than what is normal in New Zealand construction sizes, and we position this barn on the top of a hill so that we get the sea breeze and we get some of the breezes from whichever direction they come, so that's quite good. We grow all of our own feed on farm. It's close to 600 hectare farm, so we grow maize, lucerne, grass. We do import a little bit of soy to bring up the protein level if some of the pasture or whatever is not up to quality. We have actually less animal health issues in the barn because the cows are well fed, they're always in good condition. Because we're using the robotic milking, the robots clean in between milking each cow, so we don't transmit mastitis from sets of cups. The other main issue with animal health, I think, in dairy farms is cows have to walk very long distances from the paddocks to the barn, and if they're herded too hard by staff or pushed too hard by backing gates, they end up with lameness and, that type of issue. Well, we have absolutely no issues at all in this barn with lameness. We did a lot of work with overseer on this farm because when we spotted this farm we really liked it, but there was an issue about the fact that it was in a red and an orange zone. I think if we wanted to actually build a dairy farm on this the traditional way, we wouldn't have been able to, but because of the system we have here, we're able to remain at very low levels. The kilograms of nitrogen leaching in the red zone of the farm, half of its red zone is 11 and under, And on the orange zone part, we're about 16 to 19, so we're within the limits. We have a contracting division of the Van Leeuwen Group, and that has all types of machinery from diggers to harvesters to ground working equipment, maize chopper. So we're basically totally self-contained. It does keep some of the costs down because obviously contractors, if you had to contract everything out, it would be quite expensive, but we have our own machinery to do all of that work. Our cost of production is around that $4.50, $4.54.
We've got a bit of security here. As you see on the screen, there's various cameras hanging in the barn to mainly look back if something goes wrong and why it's gone wrong, and also as a security of, especially at night too, I suppose. And we can access this from our home. We can access this from anywhere in the world through the internet. All the production, of course, get it up here. Also the mastitis level, and also, of course, when cows come on heat through activity, that all comes back onto the main computer here, and the manager can make the various decisions of when to act and when not to act. So when a cow is calved outside, she'll come in here, and for the first 4 days, 8 milkings, that milk will be collected from the cow and diverted to the colostrum tanks. If we got cows with mastitis, then again we enter it into the computer and tell the robots to divert this milk into the penicillin tank. Through our farming career, we've set our goals and we set our challenges, and this was one of them, most definite. That's what you do in life if you want to get somewhere, and that's what we've done. So we certainly haven't regretted what we've did here. So yeah, it's certainly been a challenge. And there's still a lot to be done, but that will come in time. I mean, payout is not the greatest at the moment, so everything is on a low level, but times will return, the good times will return, and that's when we pick it up again and do the extras, I suppose.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.